And now, live from the Neverland Theatre, your host, Gary Starr. Hello, and a very good evening. Welcome to Stage2Stream.tv, live from the Neverland Theatre here in the glorious town of Skegness. How are you all this evening? Great to see you. Welcome, one and all, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Stage2Stream.tv, and boy, have we got a night for you this evening. Loads of wonderful guests joining us this evening, and of course, lots and lots to talk about. Right now, before we start, of course, it's important to get everybody involved. So if you're out there and you're one of our supporters, all you need to do right now is, if you're not already following, click follow. If you've not already liked the page, like it. And if you are out there watching right now, share it with your friends. Share this stream live out to your friends so we can get more and more people involved, more and more people involved with the chat, which is, of course, more important than anything. Great to have you all here this evening. Let's find out this evening who is on the show tonight. Live tonight, Phil Hoyles, Rachel Spencer, and Mama G. All live on. Yes, indeed, all live tonight. Some fabulous guests to see and speak to this evening, and a wonderful opportunity for everybody to join in the conversation this evening, because we do like to get social out there. And speaking of social, yes, you know what time it is. It's time for us to go over to Right Hand Ruthie.
Right hand Ruthie, right hand Ruthie.
Right Hand Ruthie. Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Hey, here we are, back again. Nice to see you this evening. Are you well?
Yes, I'm doing all right.
Good. How's your day been?
It's been good. Yeah, busy.
What have you been doing? Busyness?
What have I been doing? I've been booking lots of more guests in for next week. That's very exciting.
Ooh, I mean, I can say that we've got some very good guests next week, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
So we've had some great ones this week, but some very exciting ones next week. Who have we got, Ruth?
Are we allowed to tell?
Yeah, I think we should. I think we should give like what we call a teaser.
A teaser, okay. Well, we've got lots of stuff coming up over the weekend, which we're actually going to be plugging tomorrow. So we've got a brand new musical that's going live. It's not ours, it's somebody else's musical, and it's absolutely brilliant. That's going to be live on Saturday, and we've got the producers and directors here tomorrow to tell you more about that. That's very exciting. It's to do with theme parks, and it's great. We've also got, what else we got? Oh, Sunday, we've got some bits happening on Sunday. We've got, I'm being very cryptic, aren't I?
Yeah, well, it's good to be cryptic, but one thing I will say is next week, a couple of people that we have got coming in, which is very exciting. First of all, James Harrison is here on Tuesday. He's the guy who creates all our music, and he's an absolute legend, and he's coming on, and we're going to have a bit of a different night for that one, because we're going to have kind of an improv music night. Yeah, so that's going to be fun. And also we've got producer Anthony Stewart Hicks coming in as well, which is very exciting next week. So and who else? Many more, haven't we? It's looking good, isn't it? Next
lots
week?
And lots, yes.
Yeah. So we should point out as well, if people do want to come on to the show next week, we're booking more guests. So we're looking for interesting people who, if you've got something to plug or you want to, come and talk about your life, then please do so. Yeah. So Ruth, you're on you're on social tonight.
I am, and I've just made a really big error.
Go on.
Well, just as you were introducing me, I was typing to Kyle. We've got Kyle Saracen in Lowestoft. Hi, Kyle. It was me that wrote that. It said, because you've said you're in Lowestoft, and I said, hello in Lowestoft. I was supposed to write, I got lost once in Lowestoft, and it came out as, I got ocked there once. It makes no sense. So I was supposed to say, I got lost there once. It's irrelevant, but I thought I'd just clear that up.
Of course, there's more of that tomorrow for Ruth's interesting story. Yes. Any more interesting stories, Ruth, you've got?
For today?
Yeah.
Ooh. No.
Why don't you?
No, don't you dare.
No, let's talk about you cooking today.
No, don't. Let's
in
not.
the theatre kitchen, cooking a cheesecake. First of all, tell us the story of your theatre cheesecake cooking. Go.
I thought I fancied some cheesecake. So I thought, I've got some ingredients. I'll see what I can make. I was going to make salted caramel cheesecake. So that's what I did.
Nice.
It was, yeah. Well, apparently I got some of the measurements a bit wrong. And what we ended up with was a very salty cheesecake. Very salty.
So the difference between a teaspoon and a tablespoon
is quite important. Yeah,
apparently so.
It's quite important.
And then, we said we weren't going to mention this, but we will do anyway because literally 5 minutes before the show, I got called into the theatre kitchen in such a panic. Did I not? I got a phone call going, quickly come through. It's an emergency. What was happening there?
Well, right. We should probably set the scene. So in the kitchen, it's a very high ceiling, like really high. So in order to get to the well, not for you. You're very
like
tall.
6'5" ish.
Oh, I'm very short.
Okay.
So in order for me to reach the ceiling, I need to stand on things. And anyway, there was a beeping noise that was coming through, and I thought, oh no, it's the fire alarm for some reason. There was nothing on fire. I wasn't cooking anything. It was just beeping. I thought, oh, it's the battery. You know when it starts making that noise? So for some reason I started wafting it. I don't know why I'd waft it if it was the battery going off, but it made perfect sense at the time. Anyway, but then I wasn't sure. So
you called me.
Well, I did call you because I wasn't sure whether because I've never had these ones down, and I thought, oh, it's, a commercial building. It might not have a battery. It might be something else. If I take it down, it might go off. And there's so many things going through my head. So I thought, I'll just ring Gary. He might know a bit more about it than me. So he comes in and I'm stood up on a chair on a table wafting it. And then when you walked in, turns out the noise wasn't coming from the ceiling. It was coming from the dishwasher, which was telling me that it just needed to be rinsed.
The dishwasher rinsed. That's another interesting story from Ruth. I know, it's fine, and it was amusing, and of course now we've got a cake we can't eat as well, so that's salty. Good. It's very salty, but it's to your credit.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Okay. So if people want to get in touch this evening, how can they get in touch? You tell us.
Yes, hop on stagetostream.tv on Facebook. So if you're watching any of our other streams, do make sure you hop on over to the main page, stagetostream.tv on Facebook. Hop in the comments. Let us know where you're from. I'll promise I'll be a little bit more literate when I'm writing the replies, and it won't end up weird like it did to Kyle. Sorry again, Kyle. So hop in there. Let me know where you're from. And also, I'm just going to throw this out there. So it's come to my mind. Tonight, we're going to do Questions with Gary.
Whoa. Hold on, we're doing what now?
Well, this will teach you for telling the cooking story, which we said we weren't going to speak about. So what we're going to do tonight, Gary, if anybody out there has got a question for Gary, it can be absolutely anything. It can be a crazy question, it can be a more normal question, it can be about his life, it can be about his career, absolutely anything you want to know about Gary. I'm going to pick a question later on. I'm going to scroll through and pick the best one that I like, and then we're going to put you in the hot seat and you're going to be answering those questions later on.
Can I also just point out as well, it's a wonderful idea, but which it could go horribly wrong, but can I point out that some of our friends have, and people out there have started picking up on the fact that you called yourself Moonface. Yes. Because you've got a big round face. I
have got a big round face.
Yeah,
it's always been there.
It's fine. There it is. Yeah. Okay.
It's a bit lopsided as well. I don't know if you've noticed.
Well, we all are. We're all lopsided. Otherwise, we'd be A-list celebrities. That's how it works.
That's true. Yeah.
Now listen, but we have people like Victoria Jane Smalley out in Dubai, living the dream.
Hi, Victoria.
Out there. Hello. Hope you're well over there. To you and all your friends, welcome back once again. But she is automatically coming in and going, "Hello, Moon," which is it's brilliant. Because
do you know what? I should start some merchandising. It'd be like Moonface mugs or something.
Moonface mugs.
Oh, that's got two meanings because a mug is a face as well, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
Thanks.
So we'll be selling Moonface mugs, Ruth's Moonface mugs. It's good that you're doing this, and you could have Moonface t-shirts.
Yeah.
People could get. I don't think anybody. I don't know.
I don't think anyone's going to buy.
Let's ask on chat who would like a Moonface mug. We've got a new like this evening, Kelly Rogan. Yes, hello, Kelly. How are you? Hope you're well. Nice to see you out there. Yes, hello. Welcome to the the Stage to Stream family. Yes, if you haven't already done that, by the way, if you've not already liked the page and you've not followed it, then do so now, because while I'm on here, well, exactly, you'll pop up on the screen right about here. Yeah, so back to you, Ruthie. Tell us some more.
Oh, yes, I've got to mention the WhatsApp as well. I've not done that yet.
Yeah, no.
So as well as obviously popping on Facebook to the comments, you can also send us a message or text or WhatsApp. We've got the number. Is it going to appear? Is it already here?
It's already there.
Where is it?
It's on your, if you use your right hand.
My right hand. Up or
No,
down?
the other one, sorry then.
My
It's in
left
the mirror.
hand.
Yeah, and down.
Down. It's here. This is the number. And Gary's got a lovely little jingle for it.
I've not tonight. My reverb's gone off. And I don't want to risk resetting everything, so...
Well, it's okay. You can do it without the verb.
I can do it without.
Do it without.
You know. 07510 891 Ba-dam!
That was very jazzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of jazzy, oh yes. Speaking of jazzy, as I did say, James Harrison's here on Tuesday, which I'm very excited about, because we're going to have a completely unusual night. It's just going to be him, Andrew Merrills plus Becky. Hello, that's a new like. Well done. Welcome to the family here at Stage to Stream. As I was saying, James Harrison's here on Tuesday next week, and Gary Danger Stars just shared it. I didn't even do that.
How have you done that?
I don't know. That was earlier. I have shared it, but it's, you know. Anyway, James Harrison's here next Tuesday, and we're going to do something just a little bit fun. He's going to be there with his piano, and we're going to sort of make everything up the whole night. Do music, sort of ad lib, you know, just have a bit of a crazy night. That's on Tuesday next week. So that's exciting, isn't it?
I just point out that Kelly Rogan said, "Hey, hey, hey, Mr. Star," and Moonface.
Hey, you see, you started it though.
I did.
You know, so you know that you've called yourself Moonface. I think it's good because you know it's got a bit of boosh in it. You know, mighty boosh.
There you go.
When you are the moon.
When you're the moon.
It's almost time for this evening's first guest tonight. Phil Halls will be with us in just a few moments' time. Very exciting indeed. But first, we're going to say thank you, Ruth. We'll come back to you in a little while for some questions. If you do have any questions for Phil Halls and indeed the rest of our guests this evening, send them through on the message.
And of course, don't forget, if you've got those questions for Gary, pop them in the comments.
That as well, but more for Phil Halls
but also
initially.
For Gary.
Yeah, good. Okay, thanks, Ruthie. Always a pleasure. So, okay, it's almost time for this evening's first guest. But first, let's take a look at our first guest, Phil Hoyles, who's here with us in just a few moments with Phony Fools and Horses, star of...
Yeah, well, that's what we're supposed to be Johnny Boy's outing, isn't it, eh?
Nobody else in costume, Derek.
No, I know that, I can see that, except for that geezer down there, he looks like Donald Trump, doesn't he, down here?
Hang on, Max. Hello there, Dom. Albert, what have you done?
There's been an accident!
No, I never know.
In the Navy, you can live a life of ease. In the Navy, you can catch a funny disease. In the Navy. Gordon Bennett.
Sorry, Dad, I think she's going down on me.
You will have to keep it cool, keep it nice and cool, Rodney. Keep it nice and cool. All right, girls. All right. I'll say the only words I know that you'll understand. This time next year will be...
They call me Plonker. Not Willy Wonka. Typically Dave, I'll do behave. Dave's not my name. It's not my name. Dave's not my name. It's not my bloody name.
Love it, crying, 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 crying.
Brilliant show, loved it. Loved the Fools and Horses, they were great, and the whole show was brilliant. Thank you very much indeed.
Hey. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the man himself. It is Phil Hoyles. How are you, my friend?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
Yes, how are you, my friend? Are you well?
I'm good, yeah. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Yeah, we're just enjoying your production there of Phony Fools and Horses. Yes.
Happy days.
Yeah,
Happy days.
when did you do that? Was that last year or before, or how long ago was that you did that?
That was about 2 years ago now. We do the dining show, and then we kind of created the theatre show. But that was about 2019. That was
amazing.
Back when it was normal to go into theatre.
Back in those normal days, yes, yeah. And I don't know whether this is a compliment or not, but you do Rodney very well.
Thank you. Are you saying I'm a plonker? Yeah.
You've got it though, down to a T. It's very good, very good indeed.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it takes. It comes easy to me anyway. I don't know why, but I enjoy doing it, and to see people who still love the show, even 40 years later. It's brilliant to just bring back those characters again. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how did it all start for you? Way back then when you were a wee boy before you started. How did that happen?
Yeah, I was knee high. I started off really by doing like you did with the holiday parks. You know, I started doing the holiday parks, and I started doing holiday parks in Devon, Cornwall, down in the Kent and Sussex. Really just being on stage every night, doing the bingo, the quizzes, hosting the cabarets that came in, doing the daytime stuff as well. And that's how I really got involved. It's something I always wanted to do. I used to go on a holiday as a kid, and we used to go to Haven and all the other holiday parks, and I used to watch them and think, I want to do that one day.
Yeah.
And and I managed to, when I was 18, my first job was for Haven in Wales, and I hated it. I hated it. I don't know why. I got the job, and I went for I auditioned every year for different holiday parks, holiday companies, and I got the call one year that I was on the reserve list. So if anybody dropped out, then I'd be in. So it was about July time, sort of mid-season, that I got the call. Somebody had left this holiday park in Wales. I went there, so looking forward to it. I was like 18, 19 years of age. And I just didn't get any training whatsoever. I did it for about 2 weeks, and then I left. But the next one I did was probably, I was 21, 22, and I enjoyed it. It was Caravan Park in Devon, and I enjoyed it. And I do enjoy doing and meeting people and being on stage every night. It's just what I wanted to do.
Yeah, it's crazy because I mean, like I say, I started in holiday parks way back when, all those many years ago. But it certainly teaches you the how to do everything and how to deal with an audience and all that side of it. So it's a good start. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So then, obviously, from the holiday parks and stuff, you've gone into theatre and done that side of it. So where did you sort of progress from holiday parks?
Oh, panto, really. I started doing some touring pantomimes for a couple of panto companies, and then got into doing theatre pantos. I think my first theatre one was at the Embassy in Skegness.
Yeah,
that was my first panto, the first theatre one that I did, and that was 2008.
Yes,
and but I enjoyed that, and I've been doing that since then. Really, playing different parts, such as a dame, baddie, comic leads as well. I enjoy doing panto as well, and of course. The whole, I did just like that as well. I did the Tommy Cooper thing, so toured around the UK theatres.
Amazing.
For a year, which was great. Yeah.
Yeah, and you also do radio as well, don't you? Is that right?
I do. Yeah. I do radio. I do a show called Ultimate 90s, which is on Deluxe Radio, and I do that every Sunday.
Amazing.
It goes out from 2:00, and I've got some great guests. I'll have to get you on there at some point, Gary.
Yeah.
Some great guests choosing their Ultimate 90s tunes. So I kind of enjoy it. It keeps you busy during, lockdown. Like with all of us, there's nothing to do, so you've got to, keep yourself busy, keep yourself occupied,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that's been keeping me occupied over the past year now.
Yeah. So what else have you done apart from the radio during lockdown? Because obviously it hit everybody. It hit the entertainment industry incredibly hard. It hit a lot of people hard, but for entertainers, it kind of we were almost a lot of us were left behind. How did it feel for you?
Yeah, it's really back in February last year. I had such a busy diary, and with the dinner shows that I was doing, because I work for two companies. I do the Only Falls, and then I do Fawlty Towers as well. And there's so much work in the diary for last year, and we were going to go abroad, and it looked really good. I was really looking forward to the work that we had in, and then within a week, maybe two, everything just fell. Everything just went out of the diary. And I kind of found myself looking at a very dismal future, thinking, oh my goodness, the job that I love doing, I won't be able to do it. So you start to look at other things. And I luckily managed to get a job in a care home.
All right, okay.
Up here in Lincolnshire, where I kind of moved back up to Lincolnshire. And as an activities coordinator in a care home. So I've been doing that since September of last year. Something I never thought I'd do, but it's just one of those things, really. I have to sort of keep the money coming in, and I do enjoy it.
Yeah,
really.
It's going to be incredibly rewarding doing that sort of thing as well, especially in these times. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
So what sort of entertainment? Because I mean that leads on to the question, especially in these times, putting entertainment on in a care home. In these times, what sort of stuff have you been doing?
Well, they can't really have people come in, which is what they used to have. They used to have people come in and entertain them, which would have made the job easier on me. So for the past few months, it's been. I've done games of bingo, which they enjoy bingo, and they like a sing-song. They love music. You can put anything on and they will sing. They will have it. We've got a few of them who can dance, and they will get up and dance with you.
Amazing.
Which is great. You put on some rock and roll and they'll have a bit of a jive there in the lounge. And we've got people who just like to chat. They just like to chat, and they may ask you to read the newspaper for them, and you chat about the news, what's going on in the news.
Yeah.
They may ask you to read a book for them, just have a cup of tea with them, simple things like that. And I try and do quizzes as well. They like quizzes and puzzles, crosswords and things like that. So it varies. Every day I try and do something different for them.
It's definitely rewarding.
I've had them colouring. I've had them making their own Christmas cards to send out to relatives over Christmas, and Easter cards. I'm going to get them to do some Easter cards so we can send them to relatives. Helping them with Zoom calls as well to their families, because obviously their families can't get in to see them. So helping with doing Zoom and connecting them with their family. So it's quite a range of things that I get to do at the home.
Yeah, that's incredible, and like we say, incredibly rewarding. Have you managed to bring in sort of your own characters? Maybe Tommy Cooper or your dames or anything like that into sort of homes?
Yeah, I've done the dame. Yeah, I've done. I did. We had a tea party, and I thought, what can I do to liven the whole thing up? So I went in dressed as a panto dame, which you supplied the costume for.
Yes,
so thank you very much for that. Yeah.
And
they enjoyed it. They loved it. I don't think they knew it was me though. I'm not sure.
Well, that's good.
One person did. One of the residents said, "Oh, you had the frock on earlier." I'm like, yeah, that's all right. But I might do the Tommy Cooper thing. I don't know yet. We'll see how.
I personally think that would be incredible. I think they would love that as well, because it's it's kind of it's back in that era, isn't it? So I mean,
it is.
You could most definitely do that. It would be amazing.
I did a picture quiz a couple of weeks ago, where I showed printed some pictures out from the internet of famous people of the past, and Morgan Wise, Norman Wisdom, Tommy Cooper. And I held up the photo to see if they could remember who the person was. And when I held up Tommy Cooper's photo, the smiles on their faces, they knew who it was straight away. They didn't even have to say the name, but they just smiled. They were like, oh.
It's meant to be, my friend. It's meant to be. You have to do Tommy Cooper in there. It's got to be done. It's.
I think I will. Probably be the hardest audience I've ever had to perform for, but we shall see.
Yeah, that'd be incredible. So what's next for you? Where obviously we're starting slowly to come out of this this horrific thing, and there is hope on the horizon. What are you looking to do in the future? Obviously more panto and that sort of thing.
Yeah, hopefully more pantomime. We'll see. I mean, I've had an Easter panto that I was going to be doing. That's been cancelled. We've had our Phony Fools show. We had some dates postponed from last year for this year. They've now been postponed until next year.
Yeah.
So at the minute, it's we have bookings in July, August time, but whether they will happen, hopefully they'll happen. Fingers crossed they will happen.
Yeah.
But we don't know. We just don't know. But I'm just I'm trying to stay positive throughout the whole thing and hoping that work will come back in.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, it's going to eventually, for all of us, with all these conversations we have, we're all on that constant hope, aren't we, of how long it's going to be. But there's definitely a way forward now that they're bringing the vaccine and that sort of stuff. So I definitely think by Christmas at the latest, which is awful, but we should see some form of sort of normality in theatres. Hopefully by then.
Hopefully
it would need to happen. Yeah. What panto wise? What's your sort of favourite character to play? Are you strictly Dame, or do you like anything? Or
yeah, I love doing Dame. I mean, Dame's a great part to play. When I first started out doing panto, it was I did Wishy Washy, and the baddie. I did played Abanazar, and then when I got the Dame role, it was an Ugly Sister.
Amazing.
And I've been doing that since then, but I do enjoy it. And then last year, was it the year before? I played Abanazar in Aladdin in Bolton for 5 days, 5-day run, because I was covering somebody who had to leave.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that as well. And because I enjoy playing the baddie parts as well.
It's definitely the best part, fun. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
It's definitely more fun to play villain. Yeah, absolutely. You can turn up after having a bad night and a bad morning. You can come in and people think you're amazing, even though you're just being grumpy. It's great. Yeah, I love that.
Myself. Yeah, just being myself.
What's your favourite panto of all of them?
Oh, good question. I think Cinderella, definitely Cinderella.
Yeah,
I do like Cinderella.
That's since playing Cinderella, the Ugly Sister, obviously.
Yeah, maybe Aladdin as well. I like Aladdin.
Yeah.
But the strangest one I did was probably a few years ago was Treasure Island. I'd never done Treasure Island before, and I played Long John Silver in that, and I'd never done that as a panto, so that was interesting.
Yeah, it's a hard part to play that.
It is.
Especially if you're hopping. If you're hopping for an hour, it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. No, but I do love. I mean, pantos is fantastic, and to not have it last year was just such a weird feeling, and for people not to go to panto must have been very strange.
Yeah. It was indeed strange and crazy times, and continues to be. But we push on as we do. I'm going to go to social media corner right now.
Oh,
yes, we're going to invite Ruthie in. Hello, Ruthie.
Hello.
There she is. Hello.
Hi, Ruthie.
Hi, how are you, Philip?
I'm good.
Good. Right, okay. Have we got any questions this evening?
So many questions.
Go for
We've
it.
got loads and loads and loads. Okay, so we've got Damien. Damien's actually going to be with us tomorrow night, and he wants to know, Mr. Damien Patton wants to know, have you ever played Blackpool North Pier?
Is that a loaded question?
Damien knows this one. Yeah, yes. Yeah, I played Blackpool North Pier. Yeah, that was a great theatre. I love that theatre. Brilliant.
What did you play there?
Sorry?
What did you play there?
Oh, 2014, 15 maybe. But yeah, Damien was actually in the show. It was Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
No. Who were you?
I was the baddie.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And Damien was the comic character. But
Amazing.
I enjoyed doing that. It was good.
Fabulous, Rose.
Yeah. I thought there might have been something in that then.
Yeah, it's a loaded question. You know that.
Just waiting to see if you can squirm a little bit.
Obscure venue.
Something in there.
Yeah.
He's also asked, if you had the chance to play any theatre, if you had the choice, which one would it be and why?
Neverland Theatre.
Yes.
Definitely.
Everyone's
good.
come here, of course.
Yeah.
Big tick.
Is that right? Is that what I wrote down earlier, Gary?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
that's it.
Neverland.
You got it
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Pad
Neverland,
ego.
Yeah, probably Neverland Theatre. A Palladium. That would be a
Of
great
course, yeah.
venue to play, wouldn't it? Palladium.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But never.
It'll never happen. But
Yeah, Neverland
but
first,
that'd be
obviously.
great.
List of importance, definitely.
Rufus?
Excellent. Okay, what else we got? Beverly. Beverly wants to know, what's the weirdest or the most unusual place you've performed?
Oh my goodness! In a bingo hall, maybe.
Bingo hall.
Yeah, we did when I did the tour in pantomimes. We, I don't know if you've done this, Gary. You probably have when you do
Not a
tour in
bingo
pantomime,
yet,
but-
no, but
Yeah, but
Love
we
bingo,
did a tour in pantomime, and we'd be doing schools in during the daytime, and then in the evening we'd go out and do maybe a social club,
yeah.
or village halls, and then one gig that we did was a bingo hall where they had the bingo stand on the stage. Okay,
Amazing.
and we had to build our set on the stage, and I said to the guy, could we please move the bingo stand? He said, no, you can't move it. It's static. It won't move. You can't move. So we had to do the panto around this bingo stand.
Don't mess with bingo.
It was so strange. I think we were doing Cinderella.
Yeah.
And we had to incorporate it in some way into the panto. An airport lounge. We
That's
did
a
an
good
airport
one.
lounge.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
good.
That
Oh,
was a
departure
weird
lounge.
one. Yeah, departure lounge. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was, and they all stayed to watch. They didn't get on the flights or nothing. It was great, but weird things like that.
We've all been there.
It was weird.
Yeah, no, that's good though. That's it's good to be adaptable, isn't it? So, Rufus,
That's
any
it.
more from you?
Let me have a little look. Yes, indeed. We've got one from Victoria. She would like to know if you could play any role. So if you could choose out of all the roles, which one would it be?
What, in Panto
that's a
or
good
anywhere?
question.
Well, I'm going to assume Panto, but let's throw it open to everything.
Okay, that's interesting. I don't know, to be honest. I'd like to do sort of farce, really. I like comedy. I like the play that I wrote. Not the play that I wrote. The play that goes wrong.
Yeah. Incredible.
I'd like to do something like that.
Yeah.
Ideally. But I don't know who I'd like to play, to be honest with you. No, I can't think who I'd like to play.
It's a bit thought-provoking, that one, isn't it? It's too much choice sometimes.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, more comedy. I like doing comedy stuff, and it's great when you can actually you hear an audience laugh. Hopefully they will. Yeah. But I love doing that.
Yeah, which with Phony Fools and Horses, you must get constantly, because I mean it's such a iconic characters, isn't it, and such an iconic story as well. So
it is, yeah. And I obviously do Rodney in Phony Fools and Horses, and then with the other company I work for, we have Volta Towers and Only Fools, and I play Boise in the other show, and as well as Trigger.
Amazing.
And
that's quite a diverse sort of cross section of characters as well, isn't it? To be able to jump into.
Yeah.
So.
I get confused who I am sometimes. And then Basil Fawlty in Volta Towers, I do that as well. And it's great when the audience can just play about with you, and they talk to you as you are. The character yourself, it's great.
Which one of those characters do you like playing the most out of those ones?
Basil, I think, because it takes me way out of what I am normally. Because Basil was very abrupt, very rude to the guests. And again, we're going back to playing the villain earlier. I could be in a bad mood, and I just go in as Basil and just let rip. Yeah, just let rip at people. And if anybody gives you back chat, you just let them have it. And that's not me. That is not me at all. And I've been so rude to people in the past that I'll at the end of the show, I'll just say to them, if I've upset anybody in any way, I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, it's that's a great part to play, and Boise is great. I love doing Boise, and Rodney as well. You know, they're all great. I just love performing. I just love being out there.
Yeah, they're all iconic characters, aren't they? So that's great. Any more, Ruthie?
Yeah.
Yes, there's one more. Whilst we're on the subject of Phony Fools and Horses, there's a lot of people asking, is it going to be touring again? So is there plans for it to start touring again after the pandemic? And if so, any idea which locations that might be?
Not off the top of my head, no. Hopefully they will. We will be back doing. We just started a tour before all this really kicked in, and so hopefully there will be some dates. I don't know off the top of my head which dates we're doing.
But it's definitely going to come back at some point.
Yeah, we are booked to do Eastbourne, going back to Eastbourne, and we've got a theatre in Wales.
Neverland.
We'll go. Yeah, Neverland Theatre in Skeggy. That'll be on the list. I'm sure.
Got to be done, hasn't it?
But yeah, we'll kind of some dates lined up, but at the minute I can't really.
Well, we can keep everyone posted if and when that all comes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Comes back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just go to the Facebook page.
Nice. Thank you, Ruthie.
Great.
Wonderful chatting to you. We'll be back with you shortly.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to find that Facebook page you've just mentioned. I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you, Phil Halls. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you this evening. Have a wonderful evening. Get on to Tommy Cooper doing that because I want video. We want video footage of that, and in fact, we could stream live of you doing that. That would be amazing. Let's do it.
That'd be good. We're on for that. Can I just say what a great thing you're doing as well?
Thank you.
What you're doing is fantastic, and I've been watching over the past few nights.
Amazing.
And well done, mate.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good fun. So, but thank you for joining us. Let's do that. Let's jump on to getting that film because that'd be amazing.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Halls, thank you very much. Wonderful. Thank you very much, my friend. That is wonderful. Brilliant. Okay. Very shortly indeed, we've got our next guest coming your way. We're going to be chatting about all things, taking things a little bit more serious with our next guest. We're going to be talking about anti-bullying and that sort of thing that's affecting a lot of people. So we're going to be back very shortly indeed. But in the meantime, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back. Don't go away. Yes, indeed. Welcome back to StageToStream.tv, live here from the Neverland Theatre here in Skegness. Thanks very much to our first guest, Phil Hoyles. Wonderful chatting to you. We are going to drop in the social media the links that you need to go and have a look at those things. Now, we're going to move on to our second guest this evening. We're going to change things up a little bit this evening because it's important, the whole point of what we're doing here is to open up that sort of dialogue to everybody and have them conversations. And it's not just about entertainers and what we're doing and, and all the happy side of it. We need to talk about, everything. Our next guest, the fabulous Rachel Spencer, not only an actress and performer in her own right, but also started up an anti-bullying campaign. We're going to be talking to her very shortly indeed, right after this.
Hi, I'm Rachel and I was a victim of bullying. And now I want to help others. I set up BU about 4 years ago, and the reason for BU is because I was a victim of bullying and I was fortunate enough to get through it. And working with people and meeting people through life, I've realised that a lot of people unfortunately don't get through it. BU is an anti-bullying and mental health campaign, and we came about because I was working with certain clients that are currently suffering with bullying, a lot of it via social media, and some of them unfortunately trying to take their own lives. We've come across something called the self-harm trend, which is where it was mostly children and teenagers looking at the best way to self-harm. They're competing against each other and they're trying to create artwork on their bodies through the use of needles, knives, all sorts of different, whatever they can get their hands on. With BU, we are trying to allow people to realise that they have a purpose and that everybody means something. And we want people to appreciate who they are. I always say in workshops, if everyone looked the same, it would be a very boring world. So it stands for be unique, be yourself, and inspire other people to, and compliment other people on the way that they are, rather than trying to find, I don't know, something negative about them. The future for BU is, with the money that we are donated, the money that we raise, we would like to open a small venue, and with that venue it would be somewhere that had a sensory room. Lighting and music and quietness is something that actually comes with mental health. When people suffer from mental health, they find that, when I say quiet time, I mean away from social media, away from the television, away from other family members, some quiet music of their choice. Some people might not like the quiet side, some people might like something that's more rocky, but whatever suits you as an individual. Lights are quite a calming thing. So a sensory room, not just for children, but for adults as well, where they can come, they can do the work, they can come, they can just chill out, and it's a place where they can get away from things. But the one thing that we will have will be internet access, so there'll be no social media allowed, no mobile phones allowed in the room. We will also be working with a psychologist, counsellor, to get them the help that they need professionally. Now, although people come to us, we do have people that give professional advice. I do a professional workshop which allows people to see what we do and how I got through it, and games about how you would feel being a victim, how bullies feel, and by having the professional side allows us to go a little bit further. So if anyone ever needed any help, BU can do that. We're on Instagram, we have our own Facebook page, and it's just capital BEE, like the Manchester B, followed straight away by EU. I will be working with a company called Street Stars, a filming and recording studio. They specialise in promo, video, all sorts of things, and we're hoping to make a special awareness video on mental health and bullying, which will go around schools, workplaces, for people to watch, and maybe they can look at and go, yeah, maybe I should be talking, maybe I should be getting the help that I need. That's where our future is now going. We'd like to bring out merchandise. We've started with things like the earrings, the brooches for the B, maybe a clothing line with quotes, inspirational quotes, which will allow people to feel special at all times. Unfortunately, bullying and mental health are two of the largest problems in the UK and probably in the world at the moment. I can't make massive differences, but if I can help at least one person a week, which is probably a lot, we are making that step forward. Last year alone we helped, I think, about 11 young people and 5 adults. The children were finding they were being bullied about voice breaking, their choices of hobbies, what designer clothes they were or weren't wearing, and adults were finding that work partners, work people, work clients, employees were being too competitive, but to be competitive and take over, they thought that the way around that was to bully the other person. It's also to allow everybody to know that bullying happens to everybody. It doesn't matter how old you are, bullying occurs everywhere. The workplace, home, school, college. We find that a lot of men don't like to speak out. Some feel ashamed. I'm working with some incredible people, but I'm working with some incredible males as well that have been in really dark places with maybe drugs, maybe drink, bullying, mental health. And they also want to help other people and to inspire people that there is a way out, that there is an end, and you can be happy again and find that happiness within yourself. It takes time and it takes support, but companies like us are there to be your support. So if anyone ever needs any help, BU is the place to be.
And ladies and gentlemen, introducing to StageToStream.tv, Rachel Spencer. Rachel, how are you this evening?
I'm good, Gary. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. An incredibly important thing to talk about, and I'm so glad we've got this this opportunity to get you on and talk about all this this evening. How did this all happen for you? Because obviously you started off in the entertainment industry. You've obviously appeared in many shows and singing and that sort of thing. Where did this side of it come from?
Well, yes, I started on the screen as a young performer, as like a child actor. I was in a long BBC contract in Doctors, Heartbeat, things like that. Absolutely loved it. I mean, the day I was on Heartbeat was my biggest role at the time. It was my first lead role, and the day after, when I went back into school, my boyfriend dumped me because he was embarrassed by what he'd seen, which is fine. And there's a lot of kind of media in the job that I'm in, and it's a very competitive, it can be a very nasty business. It can be an amazing business, but it can be very nasty as well. And people want to put themselves out there doing things that they love, but at the same time you are in the public eye to become the face of negativity, nastiness and things like that. And growing up, I loved being on television and I really, really enjoyed it. And unfortunately, I got myself into quite an abusive relationship that kind of sent me a little bit off the pathway that I wanted to be. However, by and by, I got through it with the support of friends, family, and things were really, really difficult. And that was in my so probably about 18 when that all was happening. And it took me until I was about 25 to start to come out of myself again and find out who I was. And I decided, whilst I've been doing all the television work, that I liked helping other people. And I had been asked in the past to supply, or if I knew actors that could do this or singers that could be in this. And I said, yeah. And then I realised, actually, I'm doing a lot here for free. Maybe this could be a business. So I went on the casting side of things. That grew. And from there, then I realised that some of the young actors that I was dealing with, and some of the older actors that I was also dealing with, were trying to take their own life. Obviously, that was all on the quiet, not on the media side of things. But I just thought, there's definitely something that I can do here. I've got through it. How did I get through it? Well, this is how I did it. I'm not saying that that's the way that everybody else should be doing it, but it was just something that actually helped me. And it was just to let people know that there is always the other side and you can come out stronger. And that's kind of where BU has come from, really. It's about trying to explain to people that you can be yourself, you can be unique, you can stand out, and enjoy it and love it.
Yeah, it's opening up that dialogue, isn't it? Of saying that there is a problem and acknowledging that, and then reaching out to people, I guess for help and that side of it. It's an incredible thing you're doing. Yeah.
People think that when you're in a relationship, the first relationship that I ever had that was a real relationship, should I say, that was long term, was the first ever real relationship I'd had, and that's kind of what I thought was a real relationship, which it wasn't. Now I'm experiencing what a real relationship is, But people think that if it's happening at home or happening through friends or close people to you, that it's normal and that it's allowed, or it's embarrassing and it's weak. It's not weak at all. Yeah. They've just kind of bounced on something that these people are animals, and they go for you and they find your weak spot, which is not a weak spot, it's just your vulnerable side, and they attack it to the point where you just sometimes feel like you can't get back up again.
Yeah, and especially in this industry as well, entertainment. Like you spoke about yourself, it's very. You do put yourself out there publicly, so you're kind of opening yourself up to that public kind of barrage of negativity that comes towards you, regardless of what you do.
Absolutely. The thing is, I don't always believe that as a you'll know this, being in the industry as well, that you do it because you love it. Not everyone does, but most actors do it because they have a passion for it and a love for it.
Yeah.
They don't go in there thinking, I want everybody to see me, whoa, look at me, and wanting to be attacked, or even wanting people to give feedback as such. They want to do something that they love. I didn't go on television for somebody to turn around and say, oh, she's this, she's that, she's this. I did that because that's what I enjoy to do. That's what I love. And I love performing for people. I love giving back to people. But unfortunately, not everybody sees it like that, which is one of the main negatives of being in the industry.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Because it kind of opens you up to that side of it, but it shouldn't do, because we are, literally just doing what we want to do. We're not putting ourselves out there, necessarily to be, the big star and all that side of it. It is that side of it, but it does seem to be. Do you find that? When I look at it over the past few years, especially, and I think it's been more prevalent, and I'm going to say this word, but it's been more noticeable since this, and this is not for any arguments or anything else, but it's been more noticeable since, for instance, Brexit came in, the polarizing sort of, one side or the other opinion that you have of something, and then you either attack the other person, because they're wrong, and it's the same on both sides, and it seemed to it was more prevalent there of kind of people could say what they want and do what they want with no sort of consequence, and it's sort of escalated more and more through social media now of people, you have the right to say what you want when you want, and it just seems to be now that there's no longer a dialogue between people. It's literally my way is correct, your way is wrong, whichever way round that is, regardless of what you believe or anything. Do you feel that sort of social media has kind of added to that more?
Oh, hugely. I think social media is an incredible platform if it's used in the correct manner, but it's not, unfortunately. I mean, I know so many young people that are underage that shouldn't be on social media, who are being bullied or who are bullies. But you're so right. We've all been allowed to, more so recently, say what we think and say it as a fact rather than an opinion. And people don't always think about how they're saying it. If someone asks you a question, I love a debate. I'm all up for a debate, but I always look at my debate as an opinion, and there is an opinion. And then sometimes you find that someone's got some interesting facts, and you say, oh, okay, I see your point. But people are so nasty in the terms that they think that what they say is how it is. Yeah. And there's no room for any debate. There's no room for any, people don't want to talk anymore. It's just negative, and attack, really. Yeah. And I think social media more than anything. I mean, somebody put something up on Facebook, like some modelling pictures, and you just get comments that are like, ooh, ugly, or fat. Absolutely. And it's like, that person didn't put that picture up there to ask you that opinion. If you've not got anything pleasant to say, don't say it. But that term's been around for years, and people still do.
Yeah, it's kind of been the sort of it's been pushed more and more that you're allowed to say what you want when you want, and that's your right, as a human being, regardless of what effect that has on other people. That seems to be kind of more and more where it's going, instead of having, like you say, those conversations where you can disagree with someone, but then that's it, you disagree. But I think more and more things are put up as fact when they're not, and it just causes that division between people more and more. What would you say, sort of people especially that are struggling with the social media side, because it is a massive problem. I experienced it myself when I took over a carnival committee. It sounds ridiculous, but the amount of abuse I took for trying to do something positive for the town, from certain areas, was horrific, and I'd never experienced that before. And for me, I kind of put up with it for a long time, because that's what you do, that's what you're supposed to do, I suppose. And my revelation was at the point that I went, oh yeah, there's a block delete button, and that kind of solved everything for me, because all those people that were negative, for the first 3 years, I was kind of like, I need to see what people are saying about me, and and you sort of leech onto that negativity,
yeah.
and it harbours in you. But the moment you kind of just take that away, all those people and all those things, it just lifted for me. Is that the kind of thing you're pushing towards with your side of it?
Absolutely. A young girl, sorry to give you an explanation, but a young girl that I saw being bullied on Instagram, there was people actually live putting onto her to say, kill yourself, if you don't do it, someone else will. And it was just horrific. And actually somebody sent that to me to ask me to look at it. And I just thought, this poor girl, this girl must have been about 11, 12.
Incredible.
And every day she was looking at what else they'd written. But at the end of the day, if that account isn't there anymore, they're not writing anything. So you're not wondering what they're writing, because they're not writing, because it's not there.
Yeah.
So you've got to get rid of it. If it's bringing so much negativity and it's bringing you so far down, is it really, what you need to think about, is it actually worth having that account? Do you feel better knowing that you've still got that account, even though you're getting the abuse that you're doing? Or do you think, right, I just need to get rid? And then they'll move on. Yes, unfortunately, it's to somebody else. But if they did the same thing, after a while, they'll get bored.
Yeah.
And these people, we've also got to remember, these people are hiding behind a computer.
Yeah, yeah. And they want that reaction, don't they, as well? That's the kind of the thing that they thrive on and they feed on, is the fact that they want that response. They want to see you almost suffering, I suppose.
Oh, absolutely. I did a TV show last January. And when I filmed it actually 18 months prior to when it aired, and it was about body confidence. And I was actually at my heaviest weight that I've ever been at that particular point. And it was before I'd lost a lot of weight. And I knew that if that was aired, the stick that I would get from it.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to explain, because it was a reality TV show rather than something made up, I wanted people to see that how it hurts me being at this size, and how I am insecure with the way I look and how I feel, and that comments do hurt. And then I'm quite open to say that I do get bullied for the way I look, and it does hurt. And we've all got to try and concentrate on ourselves and support each other rather than attack each other, whether you know somebody or not. And I just remember the day that it was due to come on air, I just didn't sleep. I was like, Twitter's going to go mad. What are they going to say about me? And I just had a quick look, and people were so supportive. It's amazing that I wouldn't be able to do what she did, or things like that. And I felt really good. And now I didn't look after that, because I thought, right, I've had the nice comments, and it was 98% great comments, 2%. But you've always got someone that's just waiting to.
Of course, and the problem is that we automatically sort of we zone in on that one person. You can have, it's the same as when you're performing. You can perform to 1,000 people, but if there's one person sat there with a with a face on that's not enjoying it, you concentrate on that one person.
Of course you do.
And I think that's it's kind of programming your brain to step away from that and move away from these people and see them for what they are, of wanting that reaction and wanting that from you. And the moment you do that and sort of remove that from your life, everything becomes, it does become a lot better. I think it removes a lot of that you harbour yourself, because we do naturally want to see that, as hard as it is, you kind of go, I wonder what they're saying about me now. I wonder, and you want to go back at them and try and defend yourself. And the moment you do that, they've won, so yeah.
And then it ends up into being a big brawl anyway, because they're fighting, they're still trying to give their point, and then they just get nastier. And then you're thinking, I've got to fight my battles. And people always think you have to stick up for yourself. But by sticking up for yourself, that doesn't necessarily mean giving them back the attitude that they probably deserve. It's about removing yourself out of the situation and just don't give them the time of day.
Yeah. I think so. I think it's something definitely to address, and obviously you're doing that with what you're doing with BU and that side of it. Now, obviously in the film that we saw prior to you coming on, you're looking at setting up a venue and doing all that side of it. So tell us a little bit about that, of what you want to achieve from that.
Well, the video was actually done just before COVID, actually at the beginning of COVID. So things have obviously been on a massive stop. But the aim was to build something that people can come to. It starts with one place and then hopefully it becomes a chain, where it's a place where sometimes it's more men than women, not all the time, but men like to go for a pint at the pub after work. It splits that work life and that personal life up. And I wanted somewhere where people could come to take that stress away and leave all that negativity behind. No social media, a place where you can come and sit down and do your work, a place where you can sit down and do absolutely nothing, be around people that kind of feel the same as you do. And it's just a place of calm. And that's what I want to build. And that's more for the mental health side of the BU, because we do work with it's a mental health campaign as well as anti-bullying, and it's focusing on clearing the mind and just kind of allowing yourself to find yourself and who you are again. And when you've had a stressful day at work, it comes back home with you, and sometimes it can pay off. It can be around the family. It can spread to the children, that negativity, and it's just about leaving that behind, finding your wind down time and going from there. And so things like that, and to also create a documentary for schools. No, absolutely, and that's something that we'd certainly like to jump on and help with, and push towards as well, because it's a very important thing. And I think as well, even when you look at it, that we say now, COVID's in place, so I think it's still something to push towards, and get going now, because even if it's one person that you can get into that area, and obviously that's that needs funding and that side of it, but even if it's one person that can step out of that horrific life, of what they're in right now, then it's certainly worthwhile. So it's definitely worth pushing even now in these times to try and get somewhere and achieve what Massively.
You're doing.
Most definitely. Massively. I mean, just because the venue as such is on hold, we have been at the busiest we have ever been through COVID. Since I've now passed my exams as a professional counsellor. So that's something now that we've been offering through the lockdown period, counselling. I live on an incredible estate with a load of people that have chipped in with food banks. So we've been providing food for families. We've provided Christmas Day for families that have lost loved ones through the COVID time. So again, that's more on the mental health side. But the support of other companies that have come together to help us has been huge. We just need that funding then to kind of get somewhere going.
Absolutely. Well, I definitely think it's something important and something we'll certainly help with pushing forward. I'm gonna bring in Ruth right now because she's keeping her eye on social media. So hello, Ruth. Are you all right? Oh, sorry, I've got to switch on. There we go.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, good. How are we doing on social media? I can see it flying in
Hi,
right
Rachel.
now.
Yes, yeah, we've got lots and lots of chat coming in. There's a lot of people. For a start off, just wanting to thank you as well for the work that you're doing, and also for highlighting this. Even in this day and age, it's still so much of a taboo subject. So this is a great platform to be able to sort of, get talking about it, which is great. So there's a lot of people out there just want to say thank you for that as well.
Oh wow, thank you.
So that's a good start for us. I've also popped your link to your page in the comments as well. So for those of you asking sort of where it operates and things like that, you can get that on there. But there are a few people are asking direct questions. So first of all, there's some people out there who would like to know, where does BU cover? Which areas? Are you local to one particular area, or are you sort of branching out, and what's the big plan as well?
With BU, the workshops and the counselling, we are UK, we're wide, we hit the whole of the UK. Before COVID, we were looking at going to Portugal and America. So it did have big plans. We do help and support people from every place. I do a lot of driving, so I do drive to people. I drive to schools all over the country. So we aren't just in one area. I am based in Manchester, but that's just where my home is. I am wherever I need to be. We are wherever we need to be.
Great. Amazing. Okay, so that's going worldwide as well. So that's lovely. That's great. Okay, so we've got lots and lots of other questions as well. I'm going to pick up on one here. Johnny Hurst has popped in the comments, and he said something very important, actually. He said that he doesn't think that some children nowadays particularly quite understand that social media isn't detached from the real world. What they say and do affects people so much offline. Meaning that they would say things and do things online they wouldn't necessarily do in real life to people's faces, hiding behind that keyboard. I think that's quite an important thing to pick up on. So as sort of BU's been around for obviously quite some time now, have you noticed that there's some sort of correlation, a sort of shift between social media is getting more and more popular, and so that correlation between that and people coming to you for help, is social media the biggest sort of creator of the problem, if you would?
Johnny's absolutely right. It was what I was saying to Gary before about people hide behind a computer. You become very much more confident being behind something than dealing with somebody face to face. And it's the whole how girlfriends and boyfriends used to split up. It was a lot easier for a girl or a guy to text someone and go, right, sorry, it's over, because they don't have that confrontation of seeing that person cry or see that pain. But when you are dealing, social media has a massive impact on bullying. But I think as well, when I was growing up, as I don't know about yourselves, but we didn't have a mobile phone. And so I was like 17 or 18 years old. And that's when I started to kind of like go places on my own. And it was like, right, we think we need, and it was a big brick. And now I've got children that I work with that are 3 and 4 years old with iPhones. Yeah. And I just find it bizarre. And these children are having contracts paid by parents. And parents are saying that they're watching what their children are on. I get that, I understand. And you can't be watching your child 24/7. However, children are downloading Instagram. There's loads of kids on Instagram. And they're on social media. And there's a lot of jealousy growing up. There's jealousy now, but children want to attack other children. If they have something that you want, you make that person feel bad about having it because you haven't got it. Yeah. And the way you get, it's just about, you're fat, you need to get off social media, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to kill yourself. I've heard that so many times, but that person that they're speaking to is absolutely beautiful. And a lot of it is the fact that that person is jealous. Well, I want to look like that. So because I can't look like that, I'll make sure I attack that person. And it kind of sets off like an endorphin of this power. And it's only a power behind a screen. I mean, you don't really ever meet a bully on their own. They're always in a group.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's important to say as well, it's a great point from Johnny. Thanks for that. But also, it's not kids as well. It's actually adults that don't understand that social media has consequences for what you're doing, for what you say. You put this out there, and put it publicly, and at the moment it seems that a lot of people don't get the fact that there is a consequence to that, of what you say and how you perceive yourself. And even in this industry as well, producers, all producers that I speak to and know, and ourselves included, the first thing you do when somebody applies to you is Google their name and see what comes up and see what they're like on Facebook, because if they're they're horrifically homophobic and racist, which people do openly on their Facebook, you just automatically don't take on. So I think equally adults don't get the concept of what you put out there is out there, and everyone can see it, and everyone will kind of judge you on that overall.
Massively. I've been dealing with a lady over the lockdown period who left her job due to being bullied in the workplace by other people wanting her role in the job. So they bullied her out of her job so that job then became available. It's massively popular in adults, and adults just seem to hide it a little bit more, because a lot of people put things on social media. Children put how they're feeling, as adults do as well. And it's like, I've had this to eat today, or I've had a tummy bug today. Everything is on social media, and people don't want to know. Yeah. And it's with adults, they keep a lot of it to themselves, but they also think that that's a weakness, because I shouldn't be being bullied at 30, 40, 50 or 60. Doesn't matter how old you are. Yeah. It's something that's always going to be around, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, it's incredibly important, and it's great that we've had the opportunity to chat this evening about it. We're definitely going to get you back in a few weeks as well, and we'll chat more, because there's so much more to talk about. Ruth, one more from you. What have you got? You're over there.
So we've just got we've got an anonymous one come in. It's just a blanket question. It's for advice from you personally. It's if you were worried about a friend or someone that you know, whether that's online or in person. How would you suggest going about talking to them and maybe opening up that conversation? Any tips, anything that could help that person?
I think it's a very difficult thing to come across when you've got a friend. But sometimes I always say, if you're honest with somebody, but it's the way you deliver that honesty. And if that friend you think is going through a really difficult time, openly ask them, because one, they might be waiting for you to ask that question. They don't know how to begin what they're suffering. And two, sometimes it's just knowing that someone is interested in them, because the worst thing that you can do as a friend is, if someone says, I'm having a bit of a rough time, oh gosh, yeah, I know how you feel, I'm going through the same thing. Just let that person talk. They might not want any advice. They might just want somebody to listen, and that's really, really important. Listening is one of the key things in a friendship. So I would personally ask that person, would that person like to go for a walk and have a chat and just open up about maybe things that are going on? Or instead of just saying it on a phone call or on an email or anything like that, ask if they fancy a walk, or do they fancy a glass of wine over a catch up, and then just say, I've just noticed you seem a bit down at the moment. I just wondered if you'd like to talk about it. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. But I just want you to know that I'm here for you if you need to speak, and let them then speak. They might not speak straight away, but they might go away then and think, actually, do you know what? I do. And if they don't straight away, give them a week or so, and then maybe try again. Don't give up, because sometimes it's just breaking the ice.
Yeah.
That's my opinion anyway.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's absolutely spot on. So yeah, it's as with everything, it's about opening up that dialogue, isn't it? That conversation and actually listening to people, which I think is most important. Rachel, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been wonderful chatting to you. And we'll definitely come back to you and chat more, because there's so much more we need to talk about, and it's an incredibly important issue. But in the meantime, thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Rachel Spencer, thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Something magical is coming this Easter. Live on Stage to Stream, our brand new online panto, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Join Dorothy Gale, the Cowardly Lion, Tin Man, and the Scarecrow in a brand new online magical adventure. Live this Easter at www.stagetostream.tv. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, live online this Easter. For more information, visit our website at www.stagetostream.tv. Yes, indeed. Welcome back to StageToStream.tv, live from the Neverland Theatre here in Skegness. And thanks again to Rachel Spencer this evening. An incredible chat, and definitely worth chatting about. Ruth, are you there? Are you okay? Hello.
Yes, I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
Yes, good. Thank you. What would you like to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, just before we obviously went to that commercial break, in the comments, I have popped the link to Rachel's Facebook page on there. She's running all different sorts of competitions and raffles to obviously raise money for the project that she's working towards. So there's lots of people out there asking where they can do donations and things. So of course you can donate straight to there, or alternatively have a little bit of fun into that competition, that raffle as well. Every little bit helps get towards that goal that Rachel's trying to reach to.
Amazing. Yes, indeed. So do jump on the comments and have a look at those. We are just a few moments away from our third and final guest this evening, the fabulous Mama G, coming up right after this. Let's take a look.
He even played when he was and when he played, everyone said, and she thought, oh no, I'm not going to groove, not until I can groove glitter. So you gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song. Together we'll get to where we wanna go. Uptown, downtown, shake it all around town. We are fabulous. Love, Llewellyn. Love is Welsh, which is weird. I can't do a Welsh accent. And I wrote the story, so I'm gonna have to do a Welsh accent. He was the toast of LA, Chicago, NYC. Now he's the drumming, thumping, drumming player of Terminal 3. I'm spectacular, Mama G.
So yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the fabulous Mama G. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm fabulous. Thank you, Gary. How are you?
Yes, wonderful. Nice to have you here this evening. We're going to chat about lots of things. Of course, your entire career, because you have done many pantos, I see.
many pantomimes.
How many in total have you done?
In my very few years on this earth.
How many have you done over the years?
I've done about 38, and
Wow.
I've been a professional performer for 15 years. So I've done at least 2 a year for pretty much my whole career.
That's incredible. And of course, you're part of Petite Pantos, which does pantos all throughout the year as well, which is very exciting and after my own heart as well. So how did you get into all this?
Well, how did I get into pantomime is very simple. I saw a pantomime when I was 3 years old, and I thought, that is what I want to do. And then I spent my entire childhood just whittling down the subjects at school until the last one that was left was drama when I was at university. And even at university, well, I went to Rose Bruford, which is quite, it's quite a posh drama school, actually. And I remember going around in a circle in in our group, and our teacher said, just tell me, who do you want to play most in the world? And everyone was going around the circle. People were saying Willy Loman. Some people wanted to play Hamlet. Other people wanted to play Stanley Klawowski. I've forgotten his name. And I said, Widow Twankey.
Amazing.
And everyone laughed, but I'm the only one that's done what I said.
Absolutely. All those are now out of work and crying. and what about Mama G? Where did she originate from?
Well, the version that's going to be in my authorized biography is that I was created by my fairy godmother, Oprah Winfrey, who realized that the world needed me to tell them stories about being who you are and loving who you want. But the actual true story is that Petite Pantos were producing a production of Mother Goose at the Brighton Fringe. And when you're at the Brighton Fringe, you can do sort of guest spots performing outside in to advertise your show. And so I booked us up to several of them, and most of the cast lived in London, and I was the only person who was ever available to go down. So I suddenly had to start finding ways of filling 15 minutes of time to the passing public just walking past you on the street, trying to get their attention as a pantomime dame. And it worked quite well, actually. I did a bit of routine, a few songs, and I started telling stories. And I realized that what's missing, and trust Brighton to be the place that tells you this, I realized that what was missing was sort of a drag dame entertainment all year round for children, because the children in Brighton were absolutely lapping it up. And thus was born Mama G. And now I've called myself Mama G because I was playing Mother Goose at the time, and Mother Goose obviously is a storyteller, but she does sound somewhat old hat.
Yeah.
So I made her sound a little bit cooler, but probably not that much cooler. But here we are, Mama G. It's working for me.
And it's wonderful. And of course, what you've done is use this character to sort of spread the word of diversity and all that side of it. What have you done with that sort of thing? How's that come about?
Well, I think that when you're doing something like pantomime, even a Christmas pantomime, I think you have to have an angle and a message. And I think it's our responsibility to use this, a huge platform that we have that's intergenerational. We're talking to 3-year-olds and we're talking to 93-year-olds. No other type of theatre has that ability to communicate with every single age group about particular subjects. So I thought I should be using this platform that I have to help LGBT young people and adults. And then eventually I realized everyone who feels different, because at heart we all feel a bit different from everybody else. I just wanted everyone to know that who you are is wonderful and fabulous. And what better person than a pantomime dame to tell you that, because a pantomime dame is already crossing gender with almost no comment, and it's been something that we're very comfortable having in front of families for hundreds of years in this country. I mean, ever since Shakespeare's time and before. So it's something we're actually very comfortable with as a community, and it was great to be able to start telling other people that they can be wonderful and fabulous as well, whether they want to wear a grey suit and go and work in an office, or whether they want to put on dresses and go on stage. Whatever you want to do is fantastic.
Yeah, it's an amazing positive message. So you started doing all this side of it and pushing this wonderful message, and then of course the lockdown happened. How have you kind of adapted to what you do during this strange time?
Well, I'm quite lucky in that I don't adapt to things quickly, but I do have ideas and I do know people that can help me do them. So that's been very beneficial. Now, I've got a very good friend called Amy, who's quite often my stage manager, and she's been in shows with me. And she was there in that conversation when I said I wanted to play Widow Twankey. So she's known me for a long time. And we'd actually gone to the Seagull Theatre in Lowestoft to talk to them about getting some Arts Council funding for a project that we had in mind. And on the way home in the car, we heard the news that Boris Johnson had decided that maybe if they wanted to, theatres should close, but that definitely, absolutely no one should go to them if they remained open. So we realised that we were going to have to change what we were doing. And the next day, we started Facebook Lives, just storytelling and just trying to entertain people, especially at that point when there was so much confusion about what was going on, and there was a sort of a level of fear because nobody understood what was coming for us. and we've just kept up with that, really. We do Facebook Lives every Sunday, telling stories. We've had guests from America and Australia. Last week we went to Sierra Leone, which was amazing. And we met a school out there, and I've been doing Zoom story times. I've got very good at Zoom.
Yes, I think we all have, yes. So what's kind of next for you? Where are you pushing this? Obviously, we've just seen your promotional and that side of it. Where are you pushing this all to go next?
Well, I feel like any sort of performance, your end goal is just to keep going, isn't it? So that's my ultimate goal, is to keep going, because unfortunately, when you work in children's theatre, there's always children. Some children get bored of what you're doing, but then there's young children again who are excited to see this for the first time. Now, last year, before all this all kicked off, I'd actually been booked to do my show in the West End. And I was going to the Edinburgh International Book Festival with some publishers to help promote their work. There was even a smattering of talk about going to Glastonbury and performing in the Kids Field. So those three are my ultimate goals for next year. I would like to return to normal and do all of that. But in terms of this year, we're just going to keep going and see what happens. And every time there's a new obstacle thrown at us, we're going to step over it and get on with what we're doing. And the video that you saw, that you've shown everyone, is for a live streamed show. So it's going to be a full-scale theatre show that's going to be streamed from the Stanley Arts, which is in South London. And it's supporting about 7 or 8 venues around the country. And it's all going to be streamed via Zoom. All the venues that we're supporting are selling tickets, and they're going to get a majority of the ticket sales, because obviously venues have been very badly hit this year. So I want to make sure that they know that we're still supporting them and we're always there for them in whatever form. And hopefully the audience are going to have a lovely time hearing some new stories, seeing some silly costumes, and hearing a reworked version of the YMCA, which I think is going to be rather fun.
It's always good to have a version of the YMCA, whatever we're doing, in some form or other. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to pop over to Ruthie, who's in Social Media Corner, who's keeping an eye on all our wonderful media. Hello, Ruthie. Oh, sorry, and again, every time I get to turn you on. Okay, there she is. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yes, we're just chatting to Mama G here, as you can see. How's social media doing? Have we got any questions
Social
out there?
media, yeah, it's going a bit crazy over here. First of all, there's a lot of love for your dress, Mama G.
Thank you very much. It's one of my favourites. It's a little bit of a pride outfit. Also, could be a fast food worker's outfit, could be a school teacher, I'm not sure, but I like it.
So bit of everything.
Fits every medium. It's good.
We love it. It's good. Okay, well, actually, one of the biggest questions that's come up first, straight in off there, this is from Philip, and he wants to know, what's next for Mama G? World domination, ?
Well, he's answered his own question, hasn't he?
Obviously.
Absolute world domination, but in the nicest way, because people always need to be told they're wonderful, and people always need to be told wherever they are in the world. Something I would really like to do is I've got some family in Canada, and I actually did my first ever show out in Canada when I was on holiday. I thought, why not? So I'd actually like to go out to Canada and tour my show around, and I do imagine there will be a stop off in New York and Broadway, just for one night maybe, I don't know.
Just for one, yeah.
That show you did in Canada, that was kind of sort of a last minute kind of thing, wasn't it? Just kind of, I'm going to do this and see what happens.
Yes.
How was that?
It was actually amazing. The thing about me, Gary, is that I'm a very last minute person. So I have ideas about 5 minutes before I need to do them.
Yeah.
So I was going to Canada, and it's always been my dream to perform in Canada. And I was looking up all the logistics, and I discovered that it's, for a British person, given our history with Canada, it's actually quite easy for us to go over there as self-employed people and put on a show. So I just contacted every theatre that I could find on Vancouver Island, which is where a lot of my family live, and said, look, I'm coming over in 3 or 4 weeks' time. I'd love to do a show for you. And one of them in a town called Cumberland said, oh, this would be great. We'd love to have you. And we arrived in Cumberland on the day of the show, and it was a very small town. it actually looks like, I don't know if you've seen Schitt's Creek on Netflix, but it looks like the town in that program.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh no, I've made an absolute error. And it said it was a mining community and very proud of its heritage. And I thought, oh dear, oh no. But the show actually went absolutely wonderfully. And what was very touching is that afterwards, I always like to chat to the audience. And this lady chased me back into the dressing room and she said, I've got to talk to you. And she had that accent, which was a surprise. And she said, I've got to talk to you. I'm a local politician here in Cumberland and I've just been canvassing door to door, but I thought, no, I've got to stop and see this lady's show because my father back in the UK, he's a cross-dresser. And I just wanted him to know that I support him. And I thought, that's so lovely. I didn't point out that I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm a pantomime dame, and they're maybe different things, but her heart was absolutely in the right place. So that was absolutely marvellous.
Amazing. Love it. Ruthie, back to you.
Oh, lovely. Okay, we've got another one here. We want to know your most memorable Mama G moment. That's a bit of a mouthful, let me tell you.
My most memorable Mama G moment is a bit of a funny story, actually. But it was my first ever main stage performance at a Pride. And I hadn't been doing it for very long. And I went to Reading Pride, and they put me on the main stage, which was very bold of them. They gave me half an hour, which was even bolder.
Yeah, that's good.
And I got to tell a story, one of my most popular stories. And I sang a few songs. I sang a song called If You Can't Buy It, I'm Going to Keep Sitting on It, which is, a fabulous song. I sang some Jerry Herman, because that always goes down well. And then I thought I'd sing one of my favourite songs, which is I'm Beautiful, and that's a song by Bette Midler. And if you've never been to a Pride, or don't have many gay friends, and one thing you just very quickly need to know for this story is that gay men in general love themselves a bit of Bette Midler.
Yes.
And it was going, well, as you know, Gary.
Yes, we had Johnny here just a few days ago.
Exactly, and it was going very well. Everyone it was quite a dancey song, everyone was loving it, and then halfway through, I completely forgot the lyrics. And if there's one thing you cannot do at a Pride festival, I've discovered, is you cannot forget the lyrics to a Bette Midler song. You'll get absolutely run out of town. Now, I'm not saying that I was the first person to ever leave Reading, but I think I might be the first person not to have done it of my own accord.
Yes. Yes, we know. Don't get the words wrong. Not for Bette. Not for Bette. Not Wendy's probably watching as well. She is. Yes. They both are together. Yes. Any more from you, Ruthie?
Yes. So we've got some people that are obviously very well aware of your story tales on telly. And they're obviously aimed a lot more at the younger audience. So one of the questions we've got here is, what's the most important message Mama G has for younger viewers?
The most important message I have for younger viewers is to honestly be yourself, because who you are is fabulous, exciting, wonderful, brilliant, sparkling. Everything that probably at some point somebody has told you you're not is exactly what you are. And that thing is exactly what makes you a fabulous human being.
Amazing. That's the best message ever to end on. Mama G, it's been an absolute pleasure this evening having you with us. We must get you back in a few weeks' time to come and talk more about everything you're doing. But in the meantime, thank you very much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Mama G, come on.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Yes, indeed. There we go. Mama G joining us this evening, rounding off our evening of fabulous guests. It's been a wonderful evening this evening. Ruthie, who's here tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, we've got 3 fabulous guests lined up for you tomorrow night. We're going to be starting off the evening with the one and only Mr. Damien Patton. He's been hopping in the comments tonight, but he's going to be here tomorrow. He's a wacky entertainer. He's done literally absolutely everything. He's fabulous, and you're going to meet him tomorrow night. In the middle tomorrow, guest number 2 is Lucy Rollison. Lucy Rollison, again, is a little bit of everything. She's an actress, she's a performer, she's a singer, she's a teacher. She's fabulous at everything she does, and she's going to be here talking about a very special thing she's got going on Sunday, which is, of course, for Children's Mental Health Awareness Week. Lucy is a teacher with the Rollison Stage School, which is based in the Norfolk area. area. And they've got lots of different classes going on and things, all free of charge for you on Sunday. I believe it's free of charge.
Yes, it is. Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah,
it is now.
You can certainly donate to the charity, which is what it's all about, which is supporting Mental Health Week. So that's it's going to be good. And we should also point out as well that Lucy is Tommy, who was on last night. It's her sister. So yeah.
There you go. So Lisa will be here tomorrow talking to us about all of that and all things showbiz. And then finishing off tomorrow night, we've got the one and only Dylan Lee. Now, there's a fabulous new musical that's been born, and it's going to be live on YouTube on Saturday. So we're going to be advertising that. It's called Theme Park Fan the Musical. If you haven't heard of it, have a little Google, have a little search for it on Facebook. It looks like an absolute ball. It's going to be great. So we're going to be having a little bit of chat with them tomorrow. So you can have a little bit more information on that and get excited about a brand new show you can watch for free on YouTube. And again, lots of donation opportunities as well for some very important charities they've got going on.
Amazing. Ruthie, it has been an absolute pleasure this evening. It's been a good night tonight. I've really enjoyed that. It's we've had some fun chat and some important chat as well. Yeah. Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
We will see you tomorrow. I'm going to go and throw the cheesecake in the bin.
Yeah. Probably wise. Don't switch off the dishwasher as well.
Switch the dishwasher off.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, bye. There we go. Right Hand Ruthie will be back tomorrow evening live here on StageToStream.tv. We're back at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. I hope you've enjoyed yourself tonight. If you do want to talk about anything, of course, you can still message us, send us messages. We're still here, and of course, this is on replay as well. So feel free to send us messages and we'll chat as much as we can. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. From us all in the meantime, thank you very much. Have a good night, whatever you're doing. Ruth, do you want to have a final thing? Final thought of the evening,
all right.
Ruth's final thought of the evening.
Right, this is something that does worry me, and it has done for quite some time. So if anyone has the answer,
go for it.
Let me know. When you have toast and it's buttered, it always lands butter side down. And when you have a cat, it always lands on its feet. So what would happen if you was to butter the back of a cat?
Just going to hold that camera on you for far too long. Good. Okay, another one of them tomorrow night from Right Hand Ruthie. But in the meantime, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, thanks for joining us this evening. Make sure you spread the word, share it to your friends, and we'll see you tomorrow evening from 6 p.m. Stay safe wherever you are, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.